Okay, well, thank you guys so much for joining us for our Sunday night call that we kind of threw together to talk about sharing. How do I share? Okay, I'm gonna actually ask, if you guys don't mind, if you wouldn't mind just muting yourselves quickly, and if you have a question, then you can unmute yourself, that kind of thing. But all of a sudden we get kids asking about packing lunches and whatever, and it's just really weird. And I love all your kidlets, and they're welcome on the call too. But yeah, so we had a really great week, or I did anyway, with Genevieve and Darla Brown. I went to two amazing events, and I'm just really fired up, and I want to help empower you guys, answer some of your questions, and kind of get going with this whole concept. So how do I share? That's our topic for tonight. And I actually made notes, so this could distract me a little bit, but go with it. It's growth, people. All right, so whether it is offsetting the cost of your product, or earning $500 a month, or maybe your desire is just to simply share with 3 people to get the incentive for this month, maybe you haven't really thought any further than it. One of those things may be the reason why you choose to share, but you are going to hear me talking. If you follow me at all on Facebook or Instagram, you're going to hear me talking a lot over the next little while about looking for leaders, looking to sponsor new leaders who are interested in coming into this company in a position of leadership. But here is the skinny, okay? I know that we have some amazing leadership potential hiding in the folds of this team. I know that there are some amazing people that are sitting here that maybe have shared with a couple people, or they've had a little bit of a slow start, or they're just joining us, that are going to be the next senior gold on our team, the next ruby, the next senior ruby, and I'm so excited. So don't worry if you see myself or your leaders starting to use verbiage like this, talking about looking for leaders. It doesn't mean we don't see y'all as leaders. It means we want you to have more running mates. We want to bring more Plexus love to further this country. Guys, it is so wide open, it's not even funny. So you may have been with us for a week or 2 years. It doesn't matter. What we're going to talk about tonight are the very basics that we all need. There are things I need to implement. There are things that people who start like yesterday need to implement in order to be successful with sharing this business effectively. So if you feel like maybe you're not new, maybe you haven't really been working your business, if you need a restart, this is also for you. Never, ever think that just because maybe you've missed part of the program, or you've missed an incentive, or maybe you got sick and you've kind of lost your own personal momentum with your consistency, never feel like you can't jump in where you are. The worst part of it is just taking that leap to get involved again. Yes, things can move fairly quickly with, chats and videos and all those things. If you are ever in need of clarity, talk to your upline. Ask them, where do I start? Maybe I feel like things are sort of taking off like a freight train, and I'm way back here on the platform and I don't know how to get back on. And they'll be like, hey, here's some simplicity. Do A, B, and C, and you're done, you're caught up. I will just fill you in on the rest. We have amazing leadership on this team that are able to cut through the chaos and bring clarity, and that is really one of my goals tonight. So let's talk a little bit about noise really quick. So there's social media. I've been kind of thinking about this lately, that there's a lot of noise, a lot of distractions out there. So what are some of these? How do I share without feeling spammy? Anybody ever think about that? Yeah, okay. What should I post? Should I post? Where should I post? What do I post? Instagram? What's that? Stories, pictures, filters, presets. Oh my, it's like lions and tigers and bears. Oh my. Stories, pictures, filters, oh my. What are we allowed to post? What are we not allowed to post? So some of these things may have never occurred to you, and that's okay. I want you to let them pass in one ear and out the other. But for those of you who have had some of these things occur to you, I just want you to stop and recognize it for what it is. It is legitimately noise. So I want to gift you some clarity, okay? One of the big things that is super, super important with this business is to ask yourself why you are doing what you're doing, okay? There needs to be a direction. There needs to be a purpose for everything we do, okay? Can anyone share really, really quickly why they're doing what they're doing? Why are you choosing to share Plexus? I'm looking around because I will pick on you. Sherry, go ahead. You unmuted.
Because I totally believe that it will make a difference in how you feel, in your health. And when you feel better, you are a better person for everybody around you. And so I totally share because I think people benefit from feeling better. And I'd like all my friends to feel better.
Absolutely. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I'm looking. Can I get a couple more people? Why do you share? Why do you do Plexus? Nikki is right underneath me and I'm looking right at her. Nikki.
I'm doing this for the first time on my Plexus iPad. Usually I'm on my phone, so I'm like, where's the unmute button? Okay,
That's awesome.
Well, one, because this took me out of a 4-year battle with anxiety, maybe almost 5 years even, so that. And because I want to bring my husband home. We've been together 14 years, and he's worked away more than he's home ever since I met him. And for the last 8 years that we started a family, that's all our kids know. And I'd like to bring him home and take some of that financial pressure off of his shoulders.
Awesome. Awesome. That's definitely something you can get behind. That's great. One more. Do we have time for one more? One more. I love how everyone is avoiding eye contact with the screen. Don't pick me, don't pick me, don't pick me. I don't see the person I was going to pick. Hey, Jimmy Lou, where'd you go? Share with us. Why do you do this?
I share because I really want to see people have freedom in their lives. So many people around me are bound up in health issues, bound up in financial issues, bound up in their low self-esteem and who they are as an individual. They don't know how special they are, and they are a gift to the world. So for me, it's to show people freedom, that there really truly is freedom. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Okay. So everyone is going to have a different why. Everyone is going to have a different reason why you are choosing to put yourself out there and do this business. But I'm going to suggest 3 themes or 3 goals that might bring you a little bit of clarity and possibly help you wade through some of that noise stuff, what to post, when to post, how to, like any of those things. I would like to suggest that this could be our core or our core values as a team, okay? So 3 things. Number 1, loving people well through others-focused serving and presenting solutions to people to help them where they're at. So that's the first thing. Loving people well through others-focused serving and presenting solutions to people to help them where they're at. That's number 1. Number 2 is positive transparency, personal transparency, and building community. I think we can all agree that there is a severe lack of community in our world now. We are incredibly disconnected. And it drives me crazy when people lump all social media in and say, you only see a portion of somebody's day, which is true because nobody has time to sit and watch my 24 hours. But I would counter that in what we do, we should be even more convicted of being transparent and showing the good with the bad, but in a positive way, okay? So we'll go into that in a second, but positive transparency. And number 3 would be to provide solutions for you and your family. All right? Okay, so let's break this down. What could this look like? Number one, loving people, serving, providing solutions. So this can look like approaching people that you know that Plexus could provide a solution for. You know somebody who is bone tired all the time, and you reach out to them and you're like, friend, you are exhausted. You tell me how exhausted you are all the time. I'm going to tell you, I have a solution for you, and this is going to change your life. Would you be open to hearing more? Right? Listening to that inner voice when someone's on your heart, and not only listening to that inner voice, but then doing the scary thing and actually acting on it, right? Some of those things aren't scary, but some of them are, because when you are truly convicted that somebody really could use this, and this could provide freedom for them, whether it's financially, whether it's their health, maybe it's their spouse's health, maybe you know that they have a great circle of people that they could really start changing lives. Like, you see the whole picture. And because we see more of the whole picture, it can be scary, but stepping out through that fear and doing that, okay? Being brave in the scary, all right? Number two, positive transparency. Sharing your journey, you guys. Being totally transparent. Now, transparent to a certain degree, right? There's still some stuff people don't want to see. We talk about poop, but there is a line. I think we can agree, right? There is some too much sharing. And you know what? We'll just say this for all the new people. Too much sharing is still okay here. That's okay on this side of things. We want to hear it. We want to hear the stuff that you're struggling with. That's okay. But out there, positive transparency, keep it classy. All right? Share what's interesting to you. Maybe you read an article and it's like mind-blowing, or you saw a testimony that you were like, I have to share this. Share that, okay? And here's part of this. Laura just said, yes, poop talk is often not what people want to see in their feed. It's true. It's true. I've actually seen pictures and I'm like, what are you thinking? Pictures are not appropriate here. Not okay. Too far. Too far. Bring it back. Okay. Part of that transparency too, though, is being okay not being perfect and sharing your imperfections. I try, and I'm sure I'm not the best at it, but I try to show struggles and triumphs. But if I share a struggle, I usually bring it around at the end. And if you ever watch my posts, it's interesting if you want to be entertained. If I post a struggle post, I know people don't read all the way to the end because they just want to like come and hug you. Like, it's okay, you're a good person, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, I know, read to the bottom. I'm good. Like, this is like all the way through, people. Anyway, be okay with it not being perfect. Number 3, providing solutions for you and your family. This could mean financially, it could mean health things, right? Plexus provided huge solutions for our family and our health, both myself and my husband. But maybe you are doing this, part of your goal for doing this is so that you get your husband on the product. Maybe he's okay paying for it for you, like my husband was, but he was like, I'm not paying for it for me. So you gotta get this covered for you, and then get it covered for me, and then I'll start. So that was all it took for him to be okay starting. So my income level needed to grow. So that was a goal that I had. Plexus can help meet a need as far as paying your bills. It can help. What if you had a no debt Christmas? What if you had a stress-free Christmas? What if you could buy all of those tiny little gifts that come up at the last minute? You know which ones I'm talking about, where you realize that little Johnny has 6 teachers and you're like, well, shoot, I made enough cookies for the one. What do I do with the other 5? Like, they're still important. What about the Sunday school teacher? What about the mailman? What about I want to be one of those people that give generously. What if it meant that you would be able to fill all of those gaps? What about post-secondary education? Maybe you want to take a course in something that you're passionate about. Maybe it's, I don't know, knitting, and it costs $100. Okay. Post-secondary education for your kids. I know we've got somebody here that has 2 kids in Hawaii right now at YWAM, and that is a huge part of her why. She would like that to get paid for, and then some. I know I hear an amen. She's muted, and that's good. It's because she's listening. Maybe you want to homeschool your kids. Maybe you want to look into private school. What about activities that you want to do or your kids want to do? Maybe you want to join a gym and you don't want to have to pay for it. I don't know. What about giving? What about extra medical costs? We heard a beautiful testimony from Amanda Fogan the other night, and it is in Grow live. And she talks about how one of her goals is for Plexus to pay for fertility treatments. I mean, I don't think there was a dry eye in the house. Okay, so I think that these 3 things could be the basis of our core as to why we do what we do. Everybody's going to have a different particular why, but I think that if we're focused on these things, it's going to help the sharing more. Okay? Jimmy, I'm muting you. There you go. So social media, I'm just going to say this. It might ruffle a few feathers. I don't think it will. I'm looking to see who's here. Social media is the most effective way to share your journey with the largest possible audience. Let's just call it what it is. Some people are going to be like, yeah, but I'm not going to share on social. Really? You would rather, I love you, but I don't intend to work that hard. Somebody asked me the other day.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Quick question about social media. I don't understand how to post on like the story thing on Instagram or the story thing on Facebook, what to post on each. What's the difference and why, how come? I don't know.
Okay. That is something that we can talk about. I was actually thinking about this. I was thinking maybe we should do a social media training call as well. I'll make a note of that and we'll talk about that. But we can chat about that specifically for you sooner, seeing as how it's your question now. But we'll talk about that soon. I used to, when people talk about cold calls, I used to go to my phone book and look through the alphabet and start phoning people for another business I did. That is a cold call. I don't want to do that anymore. This is a relationship business. So I want to have relationships with people, but I want to be able to do this the most effective way possible. Thank you so much, Stacy. Stacy Rose was just saying in the chat that Amber Miller has a lot of social media training. She does, and she's brilliant. So you can always check her out on YouTube or on her Facebook page. So social media is a great way to impact people. Hosting your own event, a sip and share, is another phenomenal way to do things. Guess what? Elephant in the room. Realize that how you are right now, how you post today, will be, do I say worse? Less good than a year from now. How's that? You are only going to get better from today on out. And I was looking on Facebook, I couldn't find, I was looking for my first 3 posts because they come up in my memories in January. And can I tell you, they were so bad. So bad. And Facebook memories is a wonderful way to, you know, make you realize how far you've come. It's great. It also helps you if you post really, really well. It helps give you more information to post in 2 years because no one's going to remember that you posted it 2 years ago. So you need to realize that you may not know how to post. The importance is that you stick to the core that we just talked about, focusing on loving people well, serving others, presenting solutions to people, being positive and transparent, building community, and providing solutions for yourself. If you are focused on those things, and that is your basis of how you post, you will not come across spammy. You will not come across inauthentic. If you are checking yourself, you will be on the right path. Does that kind of create a little bit of clarity on how to post, not be spammy, what I should do. I'm not going to give you a framework of you post this on Monday, you post this on Tuesday, because when I send a message, I'm like, hey girl, you know, Rose Cannon over there may never ever say hey girl in her whole life. And so she should not copy and paste my hey girl message. But I legitimately would say, hey girl, how's it going? Right? That's how I talk. A great framework for what to post really quick is themes throughout the week. Easy. Motivation Monday, Testimony Tuesday, Wellness Wednesday. This is being recorded so you can go back and look. Thriving or Thankful Thursday, and Freedom Friday. Quick analytic thing. The first thing you post in the day will be the thing that people see, or the most people see. If you are only posting once a day, that's great. That's great. But realize that you cannot all of a sudden come out of the gates and be plexus, plexus, plexus. Your friends will go unfollow, unfollow, unfollow. We don't want that. We want you showing your life with plexus. Okay? So, in an attempt to help you cut through more of the brain clutter and the how, we want to go through this amazing system that Plexus has created called Send, Share, Invite, and I wonder how on earth we ever survived without it. Anybody remember when we used to spend like hours and hours and hours talking with each individual potential, and you were like, how on earth could I be sponsoring more than one person at a time, because it's like giving all my energy. If you are new around here, just be really thankful. We're doing the Send, Share, Invite thing. It's super easy. So why I took so long with all of that stuff is you need to create interest first. In saying that, I do not ever want us to believe that you can do this business successfully without reaching out to people who have not first reached out to you. Okay, can we say that again? You are going to have to reach out past your comfort zone and talk to people who have not told you that they're interested. And that's okay. So I'm just gonna, like, because I know she's gonna have to go soon, because I'm gonna pick on my friend here, and I'm sorry. So Rebecca, I'm gonna unmute you. Okay, maybe. No, I can't. You're gonna have to unmute yourself. Okay, everyone say hi to Rebecca. Can everybody wave? Rebecca's one of our newest ambassadors. She's also the creator of all those yummy treats I like dangled in front of you all about, I don't know, a year or 6 months ago, and was like, look, I've got a friend that's making amazing, delicious things for me out of lean. You remember that? Amazing. She's amazing. So I had this epiphany today, and we all know this. People are watching us. People are watching us all the time that you don't realize that they're actually watching and paying attention. Rebecca signed up as an ambassador on Thursday, and she posted an amazing post today, and it made me realize, well, crap, she's been paying attention. So how long have you been paying attention to what I've been doing?
For a solid year.
Okie dokie then.
But I also exactly copied what Carrie posted. I couldn't copy it on Instagram. I could only copy it on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
So I had no idea what I was going to post, but I just took a picture in front of my wallpaper and copied what Carrie posted, and away it went.
And that's exactly what we want to do. Exactly what we want to do. So I started to feel guilty, honestly, today, because I was like, shoot, what has she been watching? Have I been doing a good enough job? Have I been posting regularly enough? Have I posted the right things? Okay, so I could drive myself crazy, but I love that you've been watching for a year. That's awesome. Because the message that she sent me, and this is why it's important to follow up with people. I knew she would be great at this from the time I met her, like over a year ago when they moved here. And I just think she's fun. So I wanted her to be her friend anyway, but I was like, but maybe this will be a fit for her at some point in time, right? We've kept in touch. We've kept talking. She got a new job recently, and I had messaged her, I don't know, a month ago and said, hey, what's going on? It sounds like there's a big change in your life. And she's like, yeah, I'm getting a new job. It's going to be, and she gave me some information about her job. She goes, and then maybe I can finally become a Plexus ambassador. Okay. I darn near dropped my phone, right? Please remember that people are watching you even when you don't think they're watching you. Now, a healthy dose of grace to yourself for days that you mess up or don't post as well as you should, but realize that there are people that are watching you who don't comment or that you don't know even exist. I kind of knew she existed. I was aware, but anyway, no, thank you. I asked her if it would mortify her if I asked her questions tonight, and she said no. So thank you so much for sharing. So send, share, invite. Once you have someone who you have either contacted or they have commented on a post and you go, what do I do now? Right? Everyone's been there. Okay. You are going to go through this send, share, invite, and then you're going to repeat it. Send, share, invite, repeat, send, share, invite. It's like wash, rinse, repeat, right? So somebody comments on your post, hey, what's this all about? Okay. The next thing you do is you go into a private message or a text or something like that, and you say, thanks so much for your comment. Or maybe you reply and say, I'll send you a message, right? You hop over to Messenger and you say, thanks so much for the comment on my post. And then it depends on how the conversation goes. Oftentimes I'll say, what do you know about Plexus? Or depending on what kind of post it is, maybe it's a very direct, this is about Plexus. Maybe it's just, hey, I'm so glad I've got freedom in my energy, or whatever. You know, something like that. It cannot be a copy and paste thing, you guys. It needs to be a personal from the heart thing. They'll tell you, and then you can say, hey, it would be better explained. I could tell you, and this would be Genevieve's words, I could tell you all about it, but honestly, it would be better explained in a video. Do you have about 3 minutes right now to watch a video? Okay? And it's really important that you have some of those words in there at like right now, because if they don't have time right now, you want to put it off and be like, okay, no problem. If you don't have time right now, when would be a better time? And they say, I get off work at 5, I'll be home at 5:30. How about then? And you say, great, I will follow up with you at 5:30. Okay? Or I'll make some crazy remark like it's really only a bathroom break long. Right? Because if they're okay texting me at work, then they can have a potty break and watch a video. All right? Then the question is, what do you send? I keep this really, really simple, and I want to show you. Where's my, oh, there, sorry. Okay. And of course, there we go. Sorry, my bar is up here and I can't, there we go. So if you go to the Plexus Worldwide YouTube page, they've got a ton of videos, but I keep a couple in the notes section of my phone. Really easy. This one right here is the Plexus microbiome video. I'm going to start it up really quick. I'm going to make it go from the beginning.
You may not realize
this
it,
is
but
what you're
trillions
looking
of microscopic organisms will...
Okay. It is a 3-minute video. It outlines pretty much the whole entirety of what Plexus is in a 3-minute video. A couple other options, depending on if you are leading with the business, would be this one right here. This one I keep stashed in my phone again. This one says Plexus Worldwide Ambassador Stories. These can be found in your back office also, but this is what the beginning of the video looks like, okay? This has the 6 women that talk about how Plexus changed things for them, including our Diamond Upline, Eva Schmidt, okay? So that's 2 of them. Let me show you in the Canadian back office. This is under your resource library. So over here on the side, your dashboard would come up automatically. You go to Training Center, then you click on Resource Library, and you have all of these things, okay? So when you scroll down here, we've got, sorry, I just had it here. No, maybe not. Maybe I was looking on the US side. Hold on a second. Sharing your story. Oh, here. Nope. Okay. So I would really suggest that you get used to changing in between the Canadian and the American back office. The way you do that is you scroll down to the bottom. See down here, it says Canada. You click on the US. I just happen to have the US one pulled up here so I could talk to you guys about this. Here is the sharing system. Now, when you are sharing US stuff, it usually means that it's got US product in it. That's okay. We can talk to them about that. But here is the ambassador stories one that we were just talking about. There is one that's the opportunity overview. There's this product introduction one is great, but, and I believe, Sherry, am I right with this? I'm going to click on this and just see if I'm right. Yes, this Nourish Mission video is the bomb. It is amazing. So I have just added this to my list of videos that I send people. Okay, so once you've sent a video, one video, then you've sent it, and then you say, I can't wait to hear what stood out to you the most. So then you're going to follow up with them in 5 minutes, because it's taken 3 minutes for them to watch the video. 5 minutes later, and you're going to say, so tell me the things, or whatever you would say, because I would say tell me the things. And they will say, well, you know, maybe you sent them the 6 women one. Like that was an amazing video. I've had that response this last week. And then I'll ask, whose story stood out to you the most? And they'll tell me. Usually it's Shoshana's. And then I'll say, well, why? What part about that? Right? And we'll talk a little bit. And then I'll ask the next question. If you could change 3 things about your health, what would they be? If you could change 3 things about your health, what would they be? And then I will go looking for a testimony in either True North Health and Happiness, which if you haven't been added yet, you can talk to your upline about that, or Gut Health and Happiness, which is our American testimony site, or you can find a video testimony if you want to. I would prefer a written one because then they can look at it, and then I don't tag them in it. Copy and paste that testimony into the body of Messenger and include the picture. And then I would say, I found this and thought, and it sounds exactly like what you're talking about. Does this resonate with you? Yes, it does. Whatever. So you can send them a couple testimonies if you want to, but the next step is invite. So you see, we sent a video, we've shared a story with them, and now we need the invite piece. And this can be one of a few things. Weekly, there is a corporate call that's an opportunity call. I would suggest that you guys get familiar with that opportunity call so you know what kind of person might respond best to that call, okay? Those are super easy, especially if you're just starting out and you just need something to invite them to, that's great. Second thing would be to invite them to a sip and share that you are having in your home. Do we see the necessity for having physical events? Maybe. Third idea would be for a coffee with you, to get together face-to-face if you're in the same area and talk about Plexus. That way you can bring them a sample of the pink drink. I love how Sherry shares samples of Slim. She brings a bottle of water with her, or 2 bottles of water, however you do that, a bottle of water, 2 cups. She shakes it up and they share it and they talk about it. And I love that because you're doing this sharing thing. Love it. Brilliant. On Thursday night at 8 o'clock, like this time, we are going to have a live event in our events page, Healthier and Happier with Plexus. So as you are putting these things into practice this week, you have something to invite people to. Okay. If you guys want to check the chat box, if you have it, there's just some really great ideas there. Awesome. If you don't have a chat box, I can, yeah. Anyway, so you can invite them to that group. All you have to do is add them if you're not in the group. Send your upline a message and say, hey, can you add me to that Healthier and Happier? It is an event group that Marge Martins and I, that our teams run between the two of us. And the plan is, whether or not she's doing it, the plan is to have an event every week this month and flip-flopping, okay? So if I come knocking on your door to share a testimony, don't be surprised. Okay, again, all avoiding eye contact. Okay, my invite oftentimes is to just get on the phone with me. Like, hey, do you have time for a phone call? And we can just chat about this and how I think this could change your life. Most of the time, I can guarantee about 99% of the time, if I can get somebody on the phone with me, if they will agree to a phone call, they are ready to sign up. Great words to use, and I don't want to say to close people, but to lead people to the point of being able to make a decision, right? Because basically we are trying to fill a need. We are trying to provide a solution. And sometimes we get caught up in that whole, I've sent, I've shared, I've invited, and now what? I'm really scared to ask them, right? Why is that? It's because we have a fear of being told no. Get super comfortable with no, you guys. It's not no to you. And if it is no to you, the problem is theirs, not yours. And be okay with that. All right? So you can ask somebody, like I love how Genevieve talks about how am I reading things right? Or I feel like maybe you're ready to make a decision here, right? She had said that. Another thing that I like to say is there any reason that we couldn't get you started today? The reason could be, oh yeah, I gotta wait like till tomorrow and then tomorrow's payday, right? And if that's the reason, I'd be like, great, hey, can I get all of your information? We can walk through what would be the best option for you for a package, and we can get all that squared away, and I will put that in as soon as you give me the okay tomorrow. Great. Here's another thing that I train on, and you can choose whether you want to do this or not, but I would really suggest you do. Most of the people that I have spoken to who are very successful in my eyes do the same thing. I see signing somebody up as a customer service act, and I'm really, really focused on giving people good customer service, especially in those first contacts, okay? We all know sometimes the back office doesn't behave itself. It's just a thing. Sometimes the Gap's website doesn't behave itself. I don't get mad at the Gap. It happens, right? But I want somebody's first experience with Plexus to be really good. So I am going to take the opportunity to sign them up myself. Whether that's I'm going to sit there with them and do it for them, or coach them through it, or I'm going to ask them for their information myself and put it through. Now, a couple things there really, really quick. Really quick is people say, well, people don't want to give me their social insurance number. I hate to say this. I have never, ever had somebody balk at the idea of giving me their social insurance number. All of this is positioning and verbiage and how you feel about it and how crazy unspoken things can come across to people, right? I send them a graphic, which I can put in our chat or in our team page. I send them a graphic of everything I need. Like, Kate, I'm sending you a graphic of all the things that you need to send me, and then I will be able to get this through for you. Other people will say, well, they wanted to sign them up themselves. And I say, how did they know they had the option? Because if you don't tell them that that's an option, they won't know they can, right? Another reason why I do this is because I want to make sure their subscription is set up properly and they don't cancel it. So when I'm talking to people about the Core Health Pack, okay, this is what I believe everybody should start with. The Core Health Pack is where it's at in Canada, okay? This is like brilliant. And I'm going to tell you how to avoid people not ordering in month 2. Here's the verbiage. We're setting you up with the Core Health Pack because it is the best deal for you. You will never again get these products at such a low price. They're a great deal. This is everything that you need to start well. So in month 2, what I'm going to go ahead and do, because we've talked at this point, we've already talked about a subscription, right? Because that's one of the things, and that was in the last video that I did. If you guys go and watch, I did one last week about qualifying your ambassadors to decide who becomes an ambassador and who's not. You're going to say, I'm going to set up your subscription because I know for sure you are going to at least need a bag of Slim and a bottle of Ease. Okay? Now, you can say, maybe it's easier for you to say, you're going to need a bag of Slim, a bottle of Ease, and an X Factor Plus. Right? It just depends. But then I say, but we are going to talk in 3 weeks to see where your supply is at with things, how you're doing, what you want to continue with, how you want to do it. Remember, we're always looking for 100 PV, so we're looking for a combo pack no matter like whenever you order. But we are going to decide, maybe you don't need BioCleanse because you've gone really, really slow. Maybe we didn't introduce Vital Biome for like until the 3rd week, and you might not need one because you're doing it every other day, right? So we're going to talk again, and we're going to add a couple things to your subscription if we need to. But otherwise, Slim and Ease, you're definitely going to need that. Okay? That heads off the idea that they think that they bought a double pack. Don't ever call them double packs, please, 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 because that's verbiage that will make people think that they've bought double what they need, and they don't. They haven't. You're just buying the core. Like, this is what I would have started with had I started today. Okay? So we've gone over send, share, invite. All right. Really quickly, because I said we were going to go for half an hour, but I realized how much content this was. That's okay. I think you'd rather have the content, leave now and watch the video later if you need to. I want to outline this sharing system in your back office. There are tools there for us to make you successful. Can I tell you that when I joined, I literally got a DVD and a little sleeve thing and a folder. I'm really excited that we have a back office full of resources. So I'm going to share my screen again. And I'm going to show you, all right, there. This is in the Canadian back office. Oh, Nicole is sending me a message and calling me brilliant. Thank you, Nicole. I really appreciate that. I'm going up to the top here because I want you to see the sharing system. Okay, under sharing system, it says sampling system flyer. That's for when somebody orders the 7-day trial pack. That would be another video also. Sharing system, healthy business workbook, leads you didn't know you have, scripts workbook, and sharing system verbiage. Okay. Oh, that's not what I want to talk about. Oh, I didn't leave that up there. I'm sorry. So the sharing system. This is as simple as it gets, you guys. Send, share, invite. It goes over all of these things that we talked about. Okay? So this is giving you actually a number for how many times you should send something to someone. So if you want to grow in your business, you should focus on 3 new sends a day or asks in a day. All right? So this whole map is in your back office. You can print it if you want to. You can laminate it and put it in front of you. Whatever makes you happy. Okay? Next thing. The Healthy Business Workbook is actually something that I picked up. If you have this and you're going to our other 2 events, Red Deer or the one in Richmond or Surrey or whatever you want to call it, bring your Healthy Business Workbook. We can't order these. You can get them here. And if you look here, this is the whole thing. They're very ink intensive, so you probably don't want to print off the whole thing. You can read these parts here. See, that sharing system is already in there. Here's the leads you didn't know you have, which we'll talk about in a second. Sorry, don't watch, it's dizzying. And then all the way down here, you're going to see this, daily income producing activities. Now, I would suggest you can print this out in black and white if you want to save on ink. But what you do is you fill in the little circles. It is to help keep you accountable to what your goals are, okay? This is not a huge thing. but it really does keep you on track so that you are sitting down to do the things that make you money. That's called income producing activity. And I just want to say that, you know, even though posting on Facebook can be a big part of our business because it can be part of what attracts people to wanting to know more, posting actually isn't an income producing activity. You can ask yourself 3 questions. Did I do something today to bring somebody into my business as a customer or ambassador in the next 7 to 10 days? Not like, did I start dripping on somebody that I'm going to maybe sign in 6 months? Did I do something today that would help me to sign somebody in the next 7 to 10 days? Number 2, did I do something today to help somebody who is current stay? Okay, a current ambassador, a current customer. Maybe you don't have either. That's okay. You work on number 2 when you have the people. Number 3, did I do something today to help somebody on my team go silver? Silver is when you have 3 new ambassadors. Did you do something to help somebody in your downline or to support them in going silver? Okay, those 3 things are income producing activity. Anything else, if we are really honest with ourselves, are not. So if you are looking for posts, is that income producing activity? Are you sleeping? No, okay, no, okay. If you are watching training videos, is that income producing activity? No. Even though they can be a really important part of your day, that's not the first thing that should happen. How about going into your team chats and checking to see how everyone's doing? No, actually, going into the team chat to see what everybody is doing, that's actually not. So I would suggest that you turn off the notifications for those and give yourself purposeful time to check in with those. Now, if your upline is really angry with me right now because you're not going to check their chats, I'll get it after. But guys, I honestly had to take a minute in my business and be like, they're not going to die without me. They got all the tools. They have head office's phone number. They've got each other. Maybe somebody else has already done their 3 asks for today and they're in the chat. Maybe they didn't listen to me and they're in the chat. They can help each other out. It's fine. The world will not end if I do my own personal IPA first. It's like putting, and Genevieve used this illustration, put the oxygen mask on yourself first before you help the next person beside you. Okay? Now, one word of caution, we have amazing upline chats. If you are not in upline chats, you are doing something wrong. I love you, you're doing something wrong. Well, tough love. We need to have you connected, have your downline connected. It is really, really important for community. It's helpful if you are working and maybe you're doing your asks and the person, big toe fell off and they're like, it's just detox, right? And I'm like, no, I'm so glad you're in an upline chat. You need to go to the hospital because that is not detox. You should not be purging limbs or appendages. This is not okay. Be careful with the amount of time that you spend in those upline chats because they can literally just get to be this, right? We want to be respectful of each other's time. We do want to connect. But when you're looking at the income producing activity side of things, don't let yourself get caught up in the chats. Okay? Does that make sense? The other side of things is, hey, they told me to do personal growth. And so I've got all these books. I'm reading 5 of them right now. And I usually am going to be reading about 4 hours a day because that's what's really going to push the needle forward in my business. Maybe if you've already done all your asks and you've done all your income producing activity, you got nothing to do. Sure. But guess what? If you're not putting those things into action, those books are not doing any good. So yes, personal growth is great. Personal growth with action attached is even better. All right. There is a sharing system in the back office that looks like this. Sharing system. It has trigger words to convert. Never say interested. Say, are you open to hearing more? Genevieve talks about how interested is a term that people see commitment, huge levels of commitment with. Instead of say, are you interested in hearing more? Are you open to hearing more? Okay? This would be great for you. Instead of saying that, say, hey, check it out for yourself. See what you think. Okay? I would love it if you might love this as much as I do. Do you see how all of these things turned around to be less about me and more about them? Right? So, all of this that we've talked about are tools that you can find in your back office. Let me just share the screen one more time and make sure I can find this sharing system for you so that, yeah, it's right here. See? No, hold on. Hold on, that's the Super Saturday sharing system. Sharing system verbiage. Yeah, sharing system verbiage is right here. That's the whole sheet that I was just looking at. Okay. There's a scripts workbook that is great. Mine just disappeared. It gives you ideas for what to say. Can we just say this really quick? Please don't ever read this verbatim, word for word. Don't do it. Take this. It's just like writing an essay. Don't plagiarize the scripts workbook. Okay? We don't do that. Put it in your own words. If you would never say, I couldn't help but notice your post about how dissatisfied you are with your job. Don't say it. Hey, I'm really sorry your job sucks. Saw your post. That's really crummy. So I'm wondering if you're looking at your options, because I do something that's pretty amazing and you could really love it too. Put it into your own words. Okay? All right, I'm just going to check the chat. Rose had asked, how do you help a single mom with kids needing help? She's struggling needing the products, but just can't get started because of money. Ideas on how to help. Does anybody have an idea on that? And then I want to ask quick, if you guys will give me the time. If you can't, that's fine, I understand. I would love to hear a couple people's takeaways from this last weekend or this last week, what your biggest aha moments were when Genevieve outlined the whole workbook, verbiage. She really did give us two very different, she went way further into the workbook in Regina than she did in Saskatoon. So those of you who attended in Regina, I'd love to hear from you. Saskatoon people got something a little bit different. I'm going to say, Rose, it really depends. Does she want to do the business? She wants to do the business. That, like, it's wide open for her. But if you are looking at it going, you need this in your life and you need to do the business because it's going to make you money. And she's like, I don't really want to do that. Yeah, I need the supplements. If she has the desire to do it, there are people who have 4 cents in their bank account and they borrowed the amount for the membership fee and then they got customers in order to qualify them and started signing ambassadors before they ever started the product. It is possible. It depends on if they are ready to do it or if it's one of those situations that, if it's one of those situations where you have a great heart and you know what this could be for somebody else. So that would be my assessment, my question. So, okay, can somebody go first? I'm looking at y'all. Carrie.
Hey, sure, no problem. I'd have to say her advice of keeping it simple. That was really, you know, we are the ones who make things too complicated and overwhelmed because there's a lot of stuff. So the whole send, share, invite, just rinse and repeat, as you said, and use some of that verbiage and find what works for you. And once you find what works for you, just keep using that with your leads and your potentials, and you'll become more comfortable with that.
Absolutely. Part of that, like cutting through all the noise, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's so great. Did it seem like a big thing when she was, like, I feel like if I could just carry Genevieve around recorded in my phone and just be like, hey, come listen to this for a second, and like could play recording 1, recording 2, recording 3. I could like sponsor people like that. She really did. She just has a way, right? Yeah. Anybody else have a takeaway? Tracy, are you hiding now? Can you talk? I'll call out people. I know Tracy and Sherry and Maureen were there at the Regina event. So if any of you guys want to share, maybe. Or the Saskatoon event. We had Linda, we had Nicole, we had Leona. Danielle was there. Jimmy Lou, Carrie. We had 2 Carries. Tammy. Stacy. Anybody? And if you're thinking, should I say it? Yes, the answer is yes.
So I liked what she said. She said, this is kind of like an Easter egg hunt in a dumpster. Most are empty. You have to keep hunting. So you might open one up. That person might say no. You don't stop. You keep going because there's going to be one that you're going to open up. And there it is. Somebody's going to say yes. So yeah, I love that. But so many great takeaways. Yes, keep it simple. Yes, lead with service, with love. And it seems like when you do, that message just rolls out so much better when you have care and concern for that person, right?
Absolutely.
And keep it, what did she say? She said, yeah, no, that's okay. I'm done. I can't remember.
I might come back to you.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I loved when she said that when you're asking people, we had that initial ask about, would you be open to taking a look at this Plexus thing that I do, whether it's for the business or whether it's for, you know, whatever. She said 1 in 6 people will say yes. So that, and that's an average, right? So maybe at the beginning, you're more of a 1 in 10 because you're still struggling with verbiage. But maybe after a couple months of doing this, you're more like a 1 in 4 is saying yes, right? As you get better, you're going to get more yeses, right? And so when you look at that yes, and you can turn those around and you get good at overcoming objections, your sponsor rate is going to go up, 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 right? Linda, any big takeaways?
I got a kick how she made fun of me for printing out the activity sheet and not using the book. But I thought too, we can't get the book. The book isn't.
The book is so pretty.
Yeah. But I got a kick out of that. So, but I'm still going to keep printing it out and using it.
That's okay. Whatever works for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. You were not the only one.
I know.
You were not the only one. Yeah. I know. Nikki? Bum, bum, bum. Nicole actually invited the most guests ever to the Saskatoon event, and she had guests at the Regina event. Did you get your gift yet?
I did. She brought here such a nice bag with lots of goodies inside.
We'll let you run and get it in a minute. Tell us what your takeaways are.
Oh, there was so many. I knew I should have re-looked at my notes, but I really liked how she said just say what you would normally say. Like, don't put so much pressure on it. It doesn't have to, you don't have to think about it too long. Just say what you would typically say in like a conversation with someone.
Yeah.
I can't think of her examples or the wording I wrote down.
She was talking about how if you're like, this feels really weird, say, this feels really weird, but I need to tell you, right? Or I don't know if I'm coming across spammy. I'm really not meaning to. I'm just super nervous to talk to you about this because I think that this could really make a difference for you, right? Say it.
Yeah, exactly.
They're reading it anyway. They're catching it from you. You might as well just, like, again, going back to the core values of transparency. Be transparent. Be okay saying, like, okay, I am not going to say this well because I've been fighting with my kids all day, but I need to reach out to you and I'm not waiting another day. So here it is. Take it for what it is, right? And I think the other thing that we need to realize is that you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. And I might say at the right time, right? Nicole, is your bag anywhere near close? Can you go run and get it?
Yeah, I'm trying to think if I brought it inside after I came home. I brought it to show my mom and it was in my van. And so I don't know if I brought it inside or if it's still in my van.
Okay. So you know what? Will you take a picture for us and post in Grow of all the stuff you bought and tell us like why you got it and all those things? So Nicole won the prize for having the most guests at the event, and the bag is worth like $50 or $59 American. It's a leather red backpack.
Yeah.
And now I'm kicking myself.
Yeah, $59.90 US.
That's awesome. And then it was full of
nice.
stuff. They're so kind to us. Okay, does anybody else have any awesome takeaways? Tammy, I know you're in the tub. Well, no, I don't know that you're in the tub. I'm assuming you're still in the tub. I would love to hear any of your takeaways. Maybe not. Might not be a good time.
I had done mute.
There you
I'm
are.
actually out of the tub. I'm putting coffee on for the morning.
Oh.
Well, I wasn't at the business builder thing.
No, but
I was
maybe
just at the
something.
Sip and See.
Maybe something came to you then.
Oh, let's see. Well, I love Genevieve. She was really cool. So I know I've been sitting here trying to think while you guys been talking, and everyone's kind of said the same thing I probably would have. But okay, let me think here. Okay. Because I know everyone kind of said what I wanted to say.
That's okay.
And because I've been in network marketing before, a lot of the stuff's the same, right? So even though there's sort of new take on a different company, the foundation of it all with sharing and stuff is quite similar, right?
I love there's a common thread though, like from everybody, everybody here is like, this was the biggest thing, right?
Yeah, like the verbiage, like you just talked about, is so important. Like, you know, how you say not interested but open and all that kind of stuff, right? Like to me, it's all about the verbiage and sort of listening to people, let them say what they need to say first before you just kind of like throw up all over them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but I did talk privately to Darla after, because I've always kind of struggled with the whole, do I sign them up as a customer? Do I sign them up as a wholesale ambassador? Right. And that really stuck with me with what she said to me personally, is that put them where they need to be. You know, if they're not going to build the business, put them as a customer, because if you sign them up as a wholesale ambassador to be like a wholesale customer, they're going to get all these emails about business stuff, and it's just going to turn them off. So put them as a customer. They can always upgrade to an ambassador later, which was huge for me because I was kind of putting everybody in as wholesale ambassador because I was just like, oh my God, it's like so much cheaper, right? So you want to get the best price, right? Mm-hmm. So, but that made a lot of sense to me. So that's going to be changing my direction on things a bit too now. So for me, that was probably one of my big takeaways, was just kind of asking Darla some questions after myself. So
awesome. Yeah. You know, and what I would maybe add to that is, if they're not committed to 100 PV for 6 months, then they're a customer. Absolutely. But I was one of those wholesale ambassadors that signed up that did not want the business at all. And had I not signed up as a wholesale ambassador, I would have missed the vision, because I got added to the groups and I got the emails, and I would have missed the vision, and I never would have started to work the business. So that's another, Nicole's pointing to herself too. So maybe I just totally confused you, and that just undid everything that Darla said.
Well, I think it's just a matter of knowing who you're talking with, and as you talk with them, and as your intuition, your gut can tell you a lot when you're talking to people. And if you're kind of like, you know what, I think, you know, I would never say this to the person, but I think this may be a person that, you know, actually might be able to take it, business wise after, then I probably push them towards wholesale. So maybe the person who signed you up, Janelle, maybe kind of thought the same thing with you, right? Gut wise, it's kind of like, I know this is going to change her health so much that she's going to want to share it with people later. But other people may be like, nah, you know what? They just want to try it out. See, you know, for a month if it's going to help them a bit. And if not, they're probably going to fall off. So, you know what? Let's just like do a customer, get like, you know?
Right. Exactly right. And, you know, the other thing that we can ask, because we have this available to us. If you look at somebody and you're like, you are a negative Nelly and you complain all the time, I don't think you're going to be a very good ambassador. Would this person be a good representation of the product? We might need to work on mindset for a little bit before we sign you up as an ambassador. And then you look really great when you're like, hey, can I save you some money? Boop, flip them over, right? But the other side of it too is, hey, would you make an accountability group, or would you consider creating an accountability group for yourself and 3 friends to all do this together, right? So there's a lot of angles, but Tammy, you have like so much knowledge in the industry that I know exactly what you're saying. And a lot of us have been there, done that, signed the wrong people up as ambassadors. We could tell you stories forever. Does anybody else have anything else to add? Carrie just said, I liked the change your mindset, positive out, gives it back. Sorry, getting Riker to bed. Awesome. Thank you for sharing that with us. Awesome. I know some of you guys are, I would ask Maureen again, but I think she's probably got a baby that she's putting to bed too. Unless you don't, then you can say something. Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us with this. Stay tuned. We are going to start having weekly team calls on Tuesday nights. I just want to outline how this is going to work. It won't happen this way this Tuesday, but just kind of keep your head up and see if we're going to do something quick on Tuesday or not. There is a training week happening this week. If you haven't already gotten a notice, look in the Plexus in Canada page for the links to register. There are 2 webinars available every day, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, I believe, in place of the Motivation Monday and what they normally do. And the content is going to be amazing. So the other great thing about signing up for the webinars is that you will get the opportunity to watch them later. Even if you can't watch them at that moment, you will get a link to watch them again later. So go sign up for all of them for every time frame, and you will get those recordings later. They'll also be in our back offices. Yes, Jimmy?
Yeah, so keep going, because I want you to explain where it's at if possible. I know I had an email, I've signed up, but if they're not getting emails, where do they exactly go?
Well, you need to, number one, you should message customer service, like send them an email and say, hey, I'm not getting all the emails. Can you make sure that my account is set up so that I get all of the email things? I know some people's emails were going to spam, so check that too. But this is actually listed in the Plexus Ambassador community, and it's listed in the Plexus in Canada Ambassador page. The post, let me just look at here. Plexus in Canada looks like, oh no, it's gone. It's there. It's hiding. I know it's there. Anyway, it's on that page, or it's on the American page. If you can't find it, send your upline a message, and we will go tag you in that post. What I was going to say, oh, sorry, go ahead, hon.
And I did get a text message.
I did. I get them intermittently. So if you are signed up for text messages, that's great. Yeah, I would check the US. Plexus Ambassador Community. Sorry, I don't need to take all your time. But it is there. You should also have an email. If you don't, we can always forward you the email. Yeah. Oh, here it is. It's from Wednesday. It's got that graphic on it. This is in just the Plexus Ambassador community group page. I'm going to bump it up by tagging Sherry Grant. And that should be now at the top of the page. So team calls are going to be Tuesdays at 8:30 Central. So hopefully with the time change, that's still going to be great for people. So basically a half hour later than what this call started with. What we're really going to focus on is encouraging everybody to listen to the Motivation Monday call that is short on Monday night. If you sign up for those calls, again, you will get the recording that you will be able to listen to later. And we are going to do team recognition on our calls on Tuesday, and then we will spend a short amount of time being cognizant of your time, unpacking the Motivation Monday. Genevieve really suggested that that would do good things for our team. And so I'm going to do what the lady says because she's real smart. All right, so that will not be this next Tuesday. It'll be the following Tuesday that we are starting that. But just stay tuned to our group page to see if we do decide to do a Tuesday night team call. All right? Any other questions? Any takeaways from this call? Feel free to put in the comments. I will be posting the link, not the comments here, but the comments when I post the link, and encourage anybody who wasn't able to be here to come check it out. All right? I hope this was helpful for you guys. Yes, maybe help to clear some clutter. And really excited to see you guys growing in your posting and your bravery in reaching out. Really, we can only just keep getting better. I know that's for myself too. The way I post now is way better than I did 2 years ago. So, all right, guys, I hope you have a great evening. Thank you so much for your time. And yeah, happy Monday tomorrow morning. See you.